I feel like I'm one enchanted rose away from being Belle in all of this yellow. Oh wait. I have one. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about my most anticipated reads of 2019. There are a lot of books that I want to read, and unfortunately, as a professional in the working world and an author, I just don't have time to read them. But this year, I would like to try to at least maintain a 25 to 50 book a year average. 2018 was really dismal, and I'm actually quite ashamed of how many books I quote-unquote read via Goodreads. I think it was like 8. And many of them were actually Parliament House books. They weren't even books that I had my eye on for the year. So I made a list of all the books that I would love to try to attempt to read in the year 2019. We shall see if that happens. So the first book I would like to read is The Cruel Prince. This is written by Holly Black, and it's just a book that I keep seeing everyone talk about, and I just want to read it. Now, normally I'm not really into books that don't have some sort of romance element that's pretty prominent, but I have heard so many great reviews about this book that now I just want to read it. I am anticipating in buying the audiobook so that I can listen to it while I'm driving to work, driving home, driving in general, so that is the plan. The next book on my list is actually called Overture by Skye Warren, and this book actually just popped up randomly on my Facebook as maybe this is something you'd like to read, and I looked at it and thought maybe that is something I'd like to read. So as good marketing does, it got me to click the link. I downloaded the sample chapter or 2, and I really wanted to know more. The chapters that I read were pretty intriguing, and I'm just curious as all heck to know more about this book. So Overture will be read by me in 2019, and it will automatically download to my phone because I totally pre-ordered it. So that's gonna happen. Obviously, this list would not be true without having at least 1 or 2 Parliament House books. The first one I'm going to talk about is Hook and Crown. Hook and Crown is actually going to be a Peter Pan retelling, and while I got to read the old drafts of this book before it was fully edited, I'm super excited to get my paperback and read it from cover to cover and just love on it because everything Peter Pan I love. Peter Pan is actually a really special story to me. My dad used to read it to me. I remember watching Hook with him quite a lot. Anything Peter Pan has my name on it. Now this next book is another Parliament House book, and it is called Wandering in Wonderland by Aslan Honeycutt. Aslan is actually one of my dearest friends. We actually met each other when we were on Tumblr as 2 Disney role players. Without Aslan, honestly, Between the Sea and Stars wouldn't exist. Aslan's character that they used to write on Tumblr is actually what inspired Soren in Between the Sea and Stars. So be sure to thank Aslan for Soren. So Aslan actually wrote a wonderful Alice in Wonderland story, and it's very original and very much their own. And while I also got to read this book in its early stages, I am super anxious to reread it again and to just fall in love with it again. The next book on my list is The Mister. No, I'm just joking. It's really not. It's not on my list. It's not. So the next book that I'm actually very anxious to read, and to my surprise is actually available right now, is called A Curse So Dark and Lonely. I saw that this book was like a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and I mean, Beauty and the Beast retelling? Need I say more? The quick summary of this book is, in a lush contemporary fantasy retelling of Beauty and the Beast, Bridget gives readers another compulsively readable romance perfect for the fans of Marissa Mayer. Now, while I may not be a fan of Marissa Mayer, I'm totally willing to give this book a chance just because it's Beauty and the Beast, and like, duh, I'm totally all over it. It kind of sounds like this enchanted world exists, and this girl like gets pulled into this enchanted world and meets the beast. So it's like Modern Girl meets Enchanted Beast, and I'm like, why hasn't anyone written this? Hands down, I'm buying this book. The next book that I have had on my list is called Romanov, and this is actually like an Anastasia story. While 21st Century Fox did the animation, and now there's a Broadway show based on that animated movie, like there are no books about Anastasia other than biographies, because believe me, I've looked them up. It really does sound very intriguing and romantic, and again, it just has my name all over it. It was definitely on the list as one of my most anticipated releases in 2019. Now the next book, called The Beautiful, I'm super ready to read a vampire book. It has been a very long time since I've actually read a vampire book. New York Times bestselling author Renee returns with a sumptuous, sultry, and romantic new series set in 19th century New Orleans where vampires hide in plain sight. Give it to me. I'm so ready. That's on my list. The last book that I'm going to mention is called The Blood Spell by C.J. Redwine. I don't know how I haven't heard of her books before. I've heard of her before, but clearly I'm living under a rock. So The Blood Spell actually sounds like a Cinderella retelling, which is very unique and different, and I'm down for it. I love me some fairy tale retellings, and if someone can retell a story in a very different way, I'm all about it. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for joining me and listening to my most anticipated books of 2019. I'd be curious to know what's on your list, and if any of your reads could become my reads. That sounds like it could be a website. Instead of Goodreads, it could just become my reads. Like the ring to that. Thank you again for joining me, and I'll leave all of the links to the books that I described today in the description below, along with my social media. Be sure to follow me, and if you liked this video, be sure to hit the like button, and if you'd like to see more videos by me, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the little bell next to it. And until next time, I'll catch you later. Bye!